Anyone please confirm I'm audible or not? Can you hear me? Now is it audible? Is it okay now? Yeah. Okay then. Last class where we stopped. Last class we discussed about how many ways, that means different formats. How many different formats are there to send the data to my server from client? Okay, how many ways we can pass the data to my server from my client means one is like by using headers, but whatever the format is there, okay, the data is going as part of request only. The data is going as part of request only, so that we take the data from request only. If you come here, if you observe this piece of code, see, you are taking the data from my request object only. You are taking the data from my request object only. See, request dot. See, the format may be different. Okay, my data is coming in the query format. Okay, query parameters format. My data is coming params. Is nothing but path param. My data is coming like a body. My data is coming like an header. But all this formatted data is coming as part of request only or not. Okay, so that my format may be different, but the data is coming as part of request only. So you take in the data from the request. Yeah, that is done. Okay, if it is like a query parameter, you can take like request.query, your query parameter key. If it is like a path parameter, you can send the data as part of request. Okay, URL. Okay, now here whatever the data you passed there with this particular key, so that key we are using. Okay, the next one is like the data is in the JSON format. Okay, that is like request body. The next one is like the data in the form of headers. Yes, I taken that data. Now my data is inside my server or not. My data is in my server side program. Okay, here is my data. Once you have the data, my server side guy only, right, connect with the DB. Okay, my server side guy only connect with the DB to perform some required operations or not, so that my server side guy is going to connect with database. So which type of database? First of all, decide my database is name, like MySQL is my database or not. I want to connect by using Node.js. I want to connect what? By using Node.js. I want to connect by using Node.js to my database. Which database? MySQL database or not? To my MySQL database. So that if you want to connect with my MySQL database from my Node.js, we have a separate library is there. We have a separate library. By using this library, first of all, you have to install that library. By using that library, we can get some of the methods to connect with MySQL. Okay, you have some of the methods to execute some of the queries in your MySQL database. So that first of all, if you want to get that methods and everything, first that methods written inside one of the library called as a MySQL. That library, first of all, you have to get it. So how we can get one library into your application? All your libraries you registered inside the package.json. If you know the library name and version, simply you can write here. My library name is like a MySQL. My version name, if you know something like this, you can write it. Okay, once you written like this, the next step is what? If you know both name and version, the next step simply do npm install. Okay, just run npm install command. But if you know both, if you know MySQL library, okay, that means MySQL library name, the library name and the version, both you know, simply you can add one property inside my dependencies property. Okay, add one property inside my dependencies and run npm install. But I don't know about the version. Okay, then how we can do it means just remove this one. If you don't know the version, simply remove and save it. Okay, I know only the name. Then the time simply npm install MySQL. npm install MySQL hyphen save, you can put it. Okay, what this command is going to do means, Okay, this particular command is going to download your MySQL. Okay, it's going to download your MySQL library, and then it's going to save within the package.json, and it's going to save within the package.json. Okay, here this tilde symbol and cap symbols also sometimes you can find. It's a version management. Okay, if you remove this one, then that time simply it's going to take this particular. Okay, it takes this particular version, stick to this particular person. If you put these field and these things, then the time any version changes or happened, okay, then that version, latest version changes, it's going to take for that purpose. Okay. Now npm install mysql --save. Why do you want me to write G also? Okay, global. Do you want me to run this one inside global? Not required. Why? Because mysql is only for my application. In my next application, I want to Mongo. Then that time mysql specific to this application only or not. If it is like specific to this application, not required. Okay, npm install mysql save. For example, if you don't know MySQL also, then the time we can't do anything. You should have to go with the Google and you have to search for the library. Okay, just click on enter. Just click on enter. Now it is going to download your library into your node modules, and it is going to save one property inside my package.json or not. These two things here ask it is. Yes. Understand or not? So for good. Okay, this is the one. Now once you download this library, now can we use this library? Okay, how we can use this library? Okay, come on. Here I want to establish the connection or not. I want to establish the connection here. So how we can, first of all, if you want to use the library, can we get that library? Can we import it? Okay, how we can import? Where MySQL equals to ES6 below. If you want to import any library, by using which method we can import? Require is the method. Require is the method. Okay, from where you want me to import the library? From my node module. So that if it is like a node module, if it is like from node modules, simply you can use your library name. Library name, simply you can do like that. Simply you can use your library name like this. Now inside MySQL, okay, this particular library returns one object, so that here I want to establish the connection with my local MySQL. Already here I already installed some software. Inside the jump software, okay, your wish. Okay, you can install mysql.exe file, or you can install jump from here itself. You can get the MySQL. I installed jump in my machine, so that I get this MySQL through jump. So if you want to see the GUI, okay, graphical user interface for my MySQL, just click on admin. Okay, just click on admin. Now already you created MySQL database. Okay, MySQL server contains databases. The database contains one of the tables. Okay, that one already you created. Now if you open this one, this is the one. Open with paint. Okay, now if you come here, say this. In the MySQL server, you created databases. Okay, which database you created? One school database you created. Inside the school database, tables. Okay, school database you created tables. Which table you created? Questions is my table. Already you created or not? So that can you check it? That graphical user interface. This is the one. This is your MySQL server, which is running on localhost. Okay. Now inside the server, these many databases are there. These many databases are there. One of the database I created for our requirement. What is our database? School is my database. School is my database. Inside my school database, questions is my table. Inside this table, you have to insert the data or not. Okay, which data? Whatever the data inside my React form. Whatever the data inside my React form, okay, that data at the time of clicking on the submit button, that data has to store here or not. That is our final goal. Okay, let's do this. Establish the connection is done. Okay, I want to establish the connection to my local database, so that where my database is running, my database server is running in my local machine or not, so that my host name is what? Localhost. Okay, at the time of installing particular software, jump software or mysql.exe, they are going to ask some question like, hey, what is the username to connect with the MySQL server? What is the password to connect with the MySQL server? Okay, if anybody installed MySQL through jump, by default the username is like a root, password is nothing. If you want to put, you can put it, no problem at all. For my database, what I installed in my local machine, the username is like a root and my password I didn't give, so that I want to connect MySQL server which is running in my localhost with the username what? Root with no password. No password. Okay, I connected with the MySQL server with those details. Inside the MySQL server, these many databases are there. Which database you want me to connect? School database or not? These information you have to provide. Okay, while establishing the connection. So by using this library only, we are going to connect with the database, right? So inside this library, see, this particular library returns me one object. Inside this MySQL, any name you can put it, no problem at all. Inside this object, there has one method is there. Create connection is the method. Create connection is the method. So that if it is a method, you can call it. You can call it. This is the method. This is the method to establish the connection with MySQL server. Which MySQL server you want me to collect, that is running in your local machine or out of your machine, or with which port number, with which username and password, and with the which database you want me to connect. That details you have to provide or not. So that if you want to provide the details to the method, how we can provide through argument only or not. So that it's take one object as an argument. It's take one object as an argument. Inside this object, you can provide all your MySQL server related stuff. For where my MySQL server is running, localhost. So that is my host name. Don't change this key. This is a predefined key. Because my create connection people, the create connection method, retrieving the data by using these keys only. So that don't change it. Host name. Where my server is running, localhost. Localhost. Okay, port number. Okay, it is running by default 3306 is my port number. Okay, 3306 is my port number. Okay, the next one, username. Okay, user. Okay, root is my user. The next one, password. I didn't give anything, just empty. Okay, within the server, which database you want me to connect? Okay, which database? With which database you want me to connect? School is my database or not? Yes. This is the information. This is the information I provided to this particular method. Okay, now anything you provided to one method, that method do something and gives something back or not. Okay, any method returns something, then how we can hold it? By using one variable or not. So with this information, it provides one connection object. Okay, whatever the information you provided to this particular create connection method, okay, that particular method returns me what? One connection object. Now, the information what you provide, do you think it's always correct? Sometimes it's wrong also, right? Okay, do you think always correct, whatever the information you provided? Okay, I don't think so. Okay, the information you provided, okay, can we test it once? Is it really connect with the database with this information? Can we connect once? If I connect, then the time I can come to know like what? Yes, my connection established with the database successfully or failed. Or like this, I can come to know or not. So that by using this particular connection object, I can connect. Once it is successfully connected, I can say like, yes, the information what you provided, that is correct. Okay, if it is not connected, then I can show, okay, I can do an error message like to my end user, hey, connection not established. Okay, the information what you provide, that is like wrong. Like this, I can give one error message. So that can we connect with this information? My connection object have one method called connect is the method. Connect is the method. Now, with this information, okay, this method is trying to connect with your database. Okay, now database in your local, it take like 1 second. It is out of your mission, it take like 10 seconds. I don't know how much time it will take. Okay, once it's connected, do you think it's like always success? No, sometimes it's success, sometimes it's failure. I don't know how much time it will take to connect. At the same time, I don't know it's success or failure also. Then the time, how as a developer you can come to know like, okay, this guy is trying to connect my connect method. Okay, I want to know that information is success or failure. Then the time I don't know how much time it will take. Okay, either it is like success or failure. Okay, established successfully or failure. I don't know that one. Then the time how I can come to know like means very simple thing. My connect method told like you don't know okay, how much time it will take. You don't know it's like success or failure. Do one thing. Give me one method as an argument. Give me one callback method. I will do one thing. I am only trying to connect with this information. Once my connection is established, either success or failure, I am going to call this method. I called this callback method. What you can simply confirm like yes, my connection established with success or failure. That means my task completed with successfully or failure. Okay, like this you can understand. So this callback method called when once my connection established. Okay, either success or failure, you should know, right? Okay, I will pass some argument. Okay, the first argument I can say like failure. If the first argument is there, that means you can say like what? It's failure. Okay, the next argument is like a success. Next argument is like a success. Now you can write your condition. If the error is there, nothing but what? Error is there, nothing but what? Okay, you can say like connection not established. Okay, console.log of okay DB connection error. Okay, else okay console.log of okay success. Okay, done. Now can we check? Can we check within the console only, right? Can we go to my console? Yeah, this is my console, right? Can we send one request to the server from here? Can I send one request to the server? If I click on this one, already you written the code. Okay, can you come here? Yeah, success is successfully connection established. For example, in my localhost, okay, with this particular port number, my MySQL server is running with this username and password. I'm trying to connect with the school database. Okay, this database is there or not there? Okay, this database is not there. If you see this, my school database is there. SCHOLL is not there. Then the time it should throws an error. Can we check now? If I click on the submit, can you come here? Can you come here? Can you check? Yeah, DB connection error. I'm not able to connect. Understand or not? Okay, if it is like a failure, you can send the response back. Okay, which response? Already response is there, right? Okay, see, you are sending the response back or not. So that here you can do one thing. My response dot send. Why? Because you have to tell something to my client. My client only requested something, right? So that you have to tell DB connection error, so that I'm not able to perform some operation what you requested. Okay, if it is success, in this block, what you want me to write? If it is success, what do you want me to write? If it is success, what do you want me to write? If it is like a success, the information what I retrieved from this particular request, okay, that request I have to insert. Okay, that data I have to insert within the table or not. That's it. Already you created one table. Okay, this is my table. I have to insert this data or not. If you want to insert the data in your database, MySQL database, okay, structured query language, then how I can, can anyone, if you want to insert the data, okay, through queries only we can insert or not. Through queries only we can insert or not. So how I can insert the data within the database means very simple thing. See here, there has SQL is there, one tab. Okay, SQL, click on that one. Here multiple queries are there. See which query you want, insert query. Insert query. This is the insert query. Can I copy this one? Can I copy this one? Can we prepare your query now? Okay, this is my query. Where my query equals to this is my query. Okay, backticks I'm using. Backticks. Yes, come here. See this. Insert into questions. Okay, ID you want me to insert or not required? ID you want me to insert or not required? If you see here, my ID type, see the structure. My ID type is like auto incremented. See here, auto incremented. Okay, from your end, there is no need to insert any data. Automatically, my MySQL will take care. First record you inserted 1, second record you inserted 2. Like this, automatically it's going to increment. So that my first value not required. Can we remove this one? Yes, you can remove it. Okay, the next one. Okay, the next one. Question is required. Here also backticks, here also backticks are there, right? So that you can use okay, this, no problem. Yes, come on. Insert questions. Okay, which columns that you want me to insert? Okay, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. These many columns that I want to insert. Okay, insert into questions. These are the columns. My values, which values you want me to insert, that values you have to specify here or not. Done. If you specify, my requirement is done. Okay, first column is what? First column QUE. That means question you have to insert. Where is my question data? My question data is this one or not? Okay, can we insert that? Insert here. Okay, how we can insert? It is like static one. In between, I want to add some dynamic data. Static and dynamic data. How we can concat? You can use like a concat symbol, like a plus. Okay, just you can use it. Up to here, done. Up to here, done. Now here, I want to add what? One question or not? Done. I want to add one question. Perfect. Now the next thing is my question column. This is my question column. My question column data type is what? My question column data type is like varchar. If any column data type is like varchar, that data should be enclosed with in a string format. String is nothing but what? That should be enclosed with either single quote or double quote. Already we use a double quote, so that can we use like a single quote? Okay, these backticks, just they use it. If you want, you can remove it, no problem at all. No problem at all. Okay, just they added so that I'm using more than that, nothing. Okay, come here, say this. See, my question enclosed with what? The single code or not, my question data. Why? Because my question column data type is like what? Varchar. Now, can we go to the next one? What is the next one? Option 1. My option 1, all are like varchars only, right? So that my option 1 also you should have to enclose with what? Single quote. My data is like O1. So that can we remove this one? Okay, comma, open single quote. Okay, close this one, plus 1 plus close it. Yeah, it's done. So this, my O1 is the data. Okay, enclosed with what? This single quotes or not? Okay, why single quote? Why not double quote? Means already we use a double quote outside. Outside use a double quote is nothing but inside you should have to use like a single quote only. Okay, done. The next one. This is the one plus O2 plus yes. Okay, O2 value is 1. Order plus is there, right? Okay, done. Comma. The next one is what? Single quote. This is the one. Just concatenation more than that, nothing. O3 plus this is the one. Comma. Next one is what? O4. This is the one. Up to here, just remove it. Not required. Okay, this one also you can remove. Yeah. So this, my question is this one. Okay, this is another question. Okay, this is option. Okay, at last we can find this query what you build that is correct or not. Okay, now come here. Okay, plus comma plus. All 4 options are done. The next option is like answer. Can you tell me answer how you hold it? ANS. So that answer, can you write it? ANS plus. Okay, close your single quote. Comma, open your single quote plus my type. Close your single quote. Okay, close your bracket also. Yes, this is my query. Now, this query, just print it. I want to test is it really working or not. Console.log of this query. Yes. Now, can you come here? Can you enter some data? Things like this. Okay, A, B, C, and D, and my answer is like A. Okay, single. Now, click on the submit. Just you build that query. Okay, that query is this one now. See this. You just build it. That query not executed yet. Insert into questions. Okay, these all are my column names. My values are like see the first question. Okay, first value. Okay, second value enclosed with single quote. All are working as expected or not. Now, if you want to check, just copy this query. Come to your GUI. Okay, go to your SQL. Just run this query. Just go. Now say this one row inserted. That means my query what you build that is working as expected or not. Okay, so that this one is not required. Just delete it. Yes, my query what you build. Okay, that is working as expected. Now, do you want me to copy this query? Do you want me to run here? You should not, right? Okay, my server side program only has to run this particular query. Already the database connection what we established with this particular connection or not. So that can we execute that one? How we can execute? Already my connection is there. If you want to execute the query, we have the method called as a query. Okay, which query you want me to execute? Okay, now again I'm asking. how much time it will take to execute this query. My query may be a single line. My query may be a join, okay, which is connected with multiple tables. Okay, how much time it will take, I don't know. While executing the query, maybe a success, maybe a failure also, I don't know. How much time it will take, I don't know, as a developer. Okay, will it like success or failure also, I don't know. So that who knows, who execute this one, that guy knows who execute query. So that this guy again asks like, hey, give me one function. Okay, I will call this function once my execution is done. Okay, once my query execution is done. Okay, that execution, while executing that one, either it is like a failure or it's like a success, I will tell. Yes or no. Okay, once I call that function called is nothing but what? Yes, my query execution is completed. If error is there, then the time can we send that error back. If it is like a success, can we send that success message back to my client. My endpoint ready. Now, when you come here, this is the one, you can remove it. Okay, send response back to client. Okay, here also send response back to client. Okay, if it is a failure, if it is a success or failure, here query execution also you have to send the response back. Okay, perform required operation, whatever the operation you want. Okay, insert operation, exit, whatever you want, just you can write it. Understand or not? Okay, now my full-fledged endpoint is ready now. So can we test it? How you want me to test? How you want me to test? How you want me to test? Can anyone? I am the client-side developer. Just you can test. You can send the request from here. Okay, if it is like a server-side developer, how we can test? Through advanced REST client or Postman. That one already we discussed. So that already my client program also completed, right? Can we test from here itself? Okay, how we can? Can anyone? Just add your input first. Add your inputs first. Okay, where is your page? Somewhere. Okay, this is the one, right? Okay. Some questions you prepared, right? Okay. Can we add these questions only? In my, yeah, this is my question. What's my option one? My option one is like what? This is the one, right? The refs, props, updater, none. Refs, props, updater, none. Which one is the right answer? B is my right answer. It's a single or multi? It's a single. It's a single. Now, is my request is going to the server or not? You have to test it or not. Is my request going to the server or not? Okay, which type of response you are getting? Okay, you have to check it. Where you can track all your requests and responses. Okay, in the network tab. Okay, in the source itself, I want to debug the code now. I want to debug this code. Okay, the first thing is like, where is your component end to end? Now, this is your success callback. This is your failure callback. And this one and this one, okay, you are using the technique to send the request to the server. You are using the technique to send the request to the server. Now, can I click on submit? Yes. Go to the network, clear everything. Okay, go to my source, do one by one. Yes, you prepare the request. And then you added some headers. Okay, you pass the data to my header. Okay, and then based on your requirement, I want to delete something, some properties from the data object. And then I send the request to the server. Once you send the request to the server, yes, okay, you get this response or not. Okay, my onload called is nothing but what? Onload callback call is nothing but yes, my request completed successfully. Okay, my request, that means my request completed with success response. Okay, this one executed is nothing but what? My request completed with failure response. Now see this. This is only my response or not? Say this, my response. This is my response. If you observe this response, okay, yeah, see how this looks like. How this looks like. First of all, tell me my response type is what? If I'm using XML request, what is my response type? Okay, you are giving the input in the string format. You are getting the output also in the string format only or not? So that I want to convert this string into C. It's a string, but internally it's like an object or not. So that can we convert into an object? Okay, how we can? JSON.ask is the method to convert your stringified object into object. See this. Now, within this particular object, see this affected rows is like what? 1. one row affected. It's nothing but what? Your operation is what? Insertion. Okay, one row affected is nothing but one row inserted or not. One row inserted or not. Can we check now here? Okay, say this. Yeah, the question is this. How to represent the data which is coming from outside, which is coming from outside to my component or not. Yes or no? Okay, why it's not visible? Okay, can we run the command? Select the store from questions. Okay, go. This is only your data. Yeah, it's now it's okay, right? Okay, yeah, say this. How to represent the data which is coming from outside. Okay, it's not visible. Okay, just like this. Your data is data saved. Okay, done. Now I want to give the message. Okay, is it a success or failure? I want to give the message. So how you can give the message based on this output value or not? If my affected rows is greater than 0, then you can say like what? Success. Okay, that means successfully saved. Otherwise, it's like a failure. So can we take this one? Okay, come here. Okay, this is my success one. Okay, success one. My response equals to this one. I convert into JSON. If my response dot affected rows, my response dot affected rows is greater than 0, is greater than 0, then the time alert is like alert, or you can print a message your wish. Okay, inserted successfully. Inserted. Okay, else alert not inserted. Okay. If it is like a failure, okay, then the time also you have to give one message, right? Yeah, that something went wrong. Right. Okay, these are all of your messages or not. Okay, here there is no need to commit. If it is like a Oracle database, my commit you should have to do it. Okay, auto commit you have to do it. But MySQL, once you insert the query, automatically that data is going to save it in your table. Yes. Okay, can we add one more question here? Now come here. No, this is my question. Second question. Below, which one is the life cycle? Okay, this is the one. Forward ref. The next one is like component did mount, did update, yeah? Component did update. Okay, the next one is like set state. Okay, component will unmount. Okay, now the answer is like BT. Okay, it's like a multi. It's like a multi. Now can I click on submit? Yes, click on submit. Yeah, inserted successfully. Now can we check here? Can we check here? My second question was inserted or not? Okay, you can ask one question. Hey, once it is like inserted, okay, once it is like inserted, okay, then why I need all these things? Why I need all these things? Already is this data inserted, right? Can we clear it? Can we clear it? Yes or no? We should have to clear this data or not. Understand? Okay, how you can clear it? One text box is there. How you can set the data and how you can get the data in anyone. One text box is there. Okay, in general, normal text box is there. How we can set or get the data? If you want to set or get the data, how it means very simple. If it is like a text box, there has one property, one attribute is there. It's called as a value is the attribute or not value. Okay, if you put like a value attribute, yes, that value attribute is visible here or not. Okay, if you set, then the time you are using value attribute. Okay, if you want to get also, you are using internal value attribute only. Now, instead of SSS, what do you want me to set once my operation is completed? Empty or not? Empty or not? You have to set like empty or not. That's only how to do it. So, what you needed? the value attributes are required or not. My value attributes are required. Okay, this value should not be empty. Okay, by default. When you want me to make it empty, okay, whenever my operation is completed, then that time I want to make this particular one is like an empty or not. I want to make this particular one is like a empty or not. Understand? Already here value attribute is there. It's okay, fine. Now tell me how I can make it available, how we can make it like empty once it is done. Once it is done. So that can we, instead of hard coding this value, can we make it as like some dynamic value? Okay, can we make it as like some dynamic variable? Can we manage these values in a dynamic value? Okay, in a dynamic variable. Okay, already in the dynamic, okay, here itself you manage this data or not. Which data? My data object. Inside my data object. Now tell me, if this one we are using manage the data, okay, once my changes are completed, once you submit this particular data to my server, if my server becomes a success one, then that time I should have to reflect my empty changes within the browser or not. Now, is it possible by using directly this data object? Is it possible? Okay, my this data object only first time load. Okay, that changes in future. I am not able to reflect within the browser or not. If you do the operation, is like, okay, once my form is submitted, okay, if I reset the data is like empty, data will not reflect where, will not reflect within the browser or not. So because, okay, re-rendering will not happen if any changes or happen within the data object. With this, okay, my re-rendering should be there. Okay, should be happened. Why? Because if re-rendering is not happened, then the time my input previous values only still there or not. My re-rendering should be happened with my empty values or not. Then my this.data object should be changed with what? Should change with what? My this.data object should change with what? State variable or not? Okay, can we change it like a state variable? Okay, do that. Now come here. Okay, how we can write it? My this dot my state equals to this dot data object and change it like a state value, state variable. Okay, come on. My data object. It's done. Next. Can anyone comment at this one? Here I have the key and values are there. I have the key and values are there. That key and values you have to update within the state variable or not. If you want to update the data within the state variable, which method is there? Okay, which data you want me to update? Okay, which state variable you want me to update? That state variable is like a data object. Okay, my data object type is what? Which data you want me to update? Object data only or not? Okay, with object data. With which object data? It's like my name. Another one is like my value or not. Another one is like my value or not. This is my key and this is my value or not. Let's comment this one. Will it work or not? Can anyone guess? See. You update the data object state variable with this data. For example, I enter the data within the questions one. I enter the data within the questions one. If I enter the data within the questions, then that my key is what? QUE. My value is your question. That is assigned to my data object. That means my data object contains what? QUE, your question. If I enter the data within the options one, see here, my options key is like OPT1, my value is like A. For example, option 1. Now, you assigned this one or not? You assigned some value to my data object is nothing but what? My previous data object is override by this value or not? Then my question is override by my option 1 or not? If like this, if you override, my previous values are gone or not? But my requirement is what? My previous values also I want. Okay, how we can merge my current key value pairs and my previous values? How we can merge means, do you know the spread operator? Okay, already we discussed, right? Okay, this is the one, the basic thing. Okay, from there you want to take properties. This dot state dot data object. Okay, from here you have to take the properties. From here you have to take the properties. How many properties are there? Question, your question, one property is there. Now the next property is what? Option 1. This property and this property is merged. Okay, that means total how many properties? 2 properties. The 2 properties assigned to my data object, that one only updated within the state variable or not. Great. This is the way you are going to update your data. Done. Now this one is not there yet. Now wherever the data object is there, you have to change it. See here my data object is there. Do you want to take the data from the data object, or you have to take the data from this dot state dot data object, this dot state dot data object, or not? This dot state dot data object. Can we do one thing? Here also this dot state dot data object, here also this dot state dot data object, and that can be destructuring the object. Can we destructuring the object? But how we can destructuring the object? Yes, you can do like this. I want to take the properties from this dot state dot data object. Which properties you want me to take it? I want to take these properties. My constant. Okay, these are the properties you can take it. Okay, answer I want to take. Answer I want to take. The next one is like type I want to take. Type I want to take. The next one is like a question also I want to take it. Question. So that now you can remove this one. You can remove it. The next one is like this one also. Done. Okay, you destructuring this one. Now you can delete the data. This dot state dot data object dot question. Okay, this dot state dot data object dot question. This dot state dot. Okay, here object destructuring is not possible. Why? Because constant we are not able to change anything here. Just view purpose only. Here you are going to delete this property. Just you can write that property. Now can you come here? Here what you want to do? This dot state dot data object or not? Okay, any other change you required? Okay, nothing is required. Okay, first of all, check it, will it work or not? Okay, that yes, you can remove it first. Where is that value? Okay, just save it. Now the third question you can enter. Where is that? This is my question, right? How to update the state variable? Okay, see here I'm not able to enter. Why? Because here you hard coded this value, right? Okay, the value is like an empty, you hard coded. So that just remove this one for now. Now come here. Okay, this is the one third question. This is my question. How to update the state variable? The next one. This is the one. By using render. By using substate. By using none. These are the four options. Okay, none of the above. But the next one is like what? C and S. This is like C, and single is nothing but S. Now can I click on submit? Yeah, inserted successfully or not? Now can you go here? Can we check? Yeah, see this? How to update the state variable? Inserted. Okay, this is my first option, second option, third option, fourth option. All are inserted. That means my state is working as expected or not. Now you can focus on clearing these fields. Now you can focus on clear these fields. Come to my e2e.jsx. Now write my value equals to what? My value equals to some dynamic value. Okay. Here also I need the value. Okay, it will not hard coded. If you hard coded, always that value only bind to the standard input control. This is my value. Okay, here also this is my value. Here also this is my value. Done. Okay. Now, where is your values and everything? All your values are available where? All your values available inside this data object or not? Okay, which values? My question by default is empty. For example, think like this. My option 1, okay, by default is like an empty. Option 2 by default is like empty. Option 3 is like an empty. Option 4 is like an empty. The next one is like answer. Okay, the next one is like my type. My type. by default it's like yes. Okay, these are my default values. These values I want to set here. How we can set it? Okay, all your values inside where this dot state dot my data object only or not. This dot state dot my data object. So that can we get it? My constant equals to this one. Okay, so how we can get my question is 1, my answer is 1, the next one option 1, next one is like option 2, option 2, option 3, option 4, my type. Okay, these are the things or not. First, okay, just destructuring this particular object. This is my question. This is my question. And here, what you want me to keep? Okay, option 1. Here, option 2. Here, my option 3. Here, my option 4. And here, this is what? My answer or not. This is my answer. You can think about this one later. First of all, these will work or not. Check it. Okay, there is no issues, nothing. For example, if I enter some default value here, will it set or not? Check it. Yes, it's setting or not. Okay, so once my operation is completed, that is nothing but inserted successfully, then that time can we update your state variable? How we can? This dot set state, what you want me to update? My data object like what? With this empty values, with this default values or not? I want to update my data object with this default values or not. Okay, you enter something. Okay, once it is inserted successfully, you have to update like this or not. How can you check what or not? Okay, there is no errors, nothing. Okay, can you check like the next one? This is the one, fourth question. This is my question. The first one is this one. This is my fallback function. The next one is like container reference. The next one is like none. Next one is like none. The next one is like ABC. Okay, this is like multi. If I click on the submit, yeah, inserted successfully. If I click on this one, yes, it's working as expected or not. But still it is like what? Multi. It should not multi, it should be single or not. Okay, by default it should be a single. Okay, so can you come here? See, that's the question. Okay, added or not? Now concentrate on radio button. How we can check this radio button? Means there has one property is that check. If you come here, see, by default my radio button is not checked. I want by default single should have to check. So how we can? Okay, you can write like it check equals to true. Like this you can write it equals to true. If I write like check equals to true, yes, it's checked or not. Okay, but if I click on the multi, okay, by default, if I press the page or something, by default it will have to check like single only. Once my updation is once my insertion is completed, okay, that should be this particular one has to select it. Then how we can write that code? Means just write it like this. Check code should be true. It's okay, fine. Okay, write like this. My this dot, okay, state dot, my type is there, right? If my type equals to yes, then the time this one you check. If my type equals to m, then the time this one you can check. That's it. My type equals to m, this one you can check. Say this. Okay, by default it's single. For example, I want to check by default multi. Then that time, can you go to my E to E? Can we write like m here? If my type is like what? M. If my type equals to m, then the time multi is going to check or not. Okay, it's not checked. Can you check why it's not? Can you check it? Checked only, right? My type equals my text area, my type is this one. Can anyone check when it's not working? My type is like yum. Oh, here not right. By default, here. Here you have to change. This is my default value, right? This is the updation value. Once my updation is completed, it should be yes only. One only I want to check. Yeah, serious. M selected or not by default. By default, M. Same like this. Once my operation is completed, by default, which variable you want me to select? Okay, single yes only or not. Okay, so that by default, first time load if you want, you can keep here. Okay, once my operation is completed, which one you want me to select? You can keep here. Operation is completed. I want yes only. I want yes only. Okay, done. Now can we test the next one? Okay, next question is what? Now come here. This is this one. This is the one. C142. C142. My answer is like what? Okay, this is like a single only or not? This is like a single only. So can I click on submit? Inserted successfully. By default, you have to select like single only. Now can I click on this one? Yes, this working is expected or not? Okay, now these many questions are there. I want to retrieve the data. I want to get this data. I want to retrieve the data. Okay, if you want to retrieve the data, then what are one? Okay, if you want to retrieve the data, you have to do some operation. Okay, which operation? Retrieving on your database operation on your table or not. That operation performed by whom? My server side. So that go to your server side program. Okay, this is the endpoint for insertion. This is for retrieving purpose or not. Okay, I want to retrieve all the data. All the data. For your retrieving purpose, are you expecting any input from the client? There is no input, nothing. So that take the data from the request, nothing. Okay, leave it. Establish the connection. Okay, already you written the code, right? The same code you can write here. For our practice purpose, just write again. Okay, how you can write it? Where my connection equals to in your MySQL, there has one method is there here connection, which take one object as an argument. It asks some of the information about your MySQL server, where it is running, localhost, in the port number it's running, 0006 is the what is the username, password, okay, which database you want me to connect. This is my information. Yes, this information is correct or not. Okay, this information is correct or not, I want to test it. Okay, how we can test it? Inside my connection, we have the method called as a connect is the method. Connect is the method. So that connect method is going to try to connect with this particular information. Okay, once my connection is established or success or failure, okay, it's going to ask like on callback method. Okay, that method I will call whenever my task is completed with successfully or failure. Okay, either success or failure. If it's like a failure, what you have to send response to my client, response dot send off. Okay, connection error. Connection error. Okay, if error is not there, is nothing but what second option. Okay, success only. This is my success one or not. Okay, now can you come here? Okay, I will tell how to create, how to reuse this code. I will tell. Okay, for our practice purpose, just write. Okay, next else. Okay, that means my connection established successful. Then we have to include the query or not query. Select or from questions. Okay, this is my query or not. Okay, the next one. I want to execute this query. How we can connection dot query. Okay, with query queue. Okay, how much time it will take? I don't know. It's like a success or failure also. I don't know. So that again he asks like a callback function. Okay, once it is done, either success or failure, we have to give the response back to my client or not. Okay. Give the response to my the result of what it is. So that this is my required operation. is my response. Give the response back to my client or not? Back to my client. Yes, my endpoint, right? Can we test this one? Can we send the request to this particular endpoint? Okay, how we can send it? Okay, if it is to browser or not. So my HTTP post is 2020 is nothing but your node server. Okay, from your node server, where you want me to go? I want to go to one of the file called as a question. From there, which endpoint in the questions file, which endpoint you want me to hit? Save question or get question? Get question. Click on enter. Okay, get question endpoint called. Okay, now come here. This is my get question. Yeah, this one, finally this one is there, right? Just remove this one. Now can I click on enter? That's all your questions getting or not? These questions and everything is coming from where? These questions and everything is coming from your database or not? These questions and everything is coming from your database only or not? Understand? This is the way we can retrieve the data. Are it okay or not? Okay, that data, I want to show here. I want to show here in the tabular format. I want to show it in the tabular format. I want to show it. Whatever the data you inserted within this particular table, okay, that data within this particular database table. Okay, within this particular database table, I want to show that one into my React table. Here, I want to show it. I want to show it. So how we can, we'll see in tomorrow's class. Tomorrow we have a class, okay, at 8 o'clock. You can join. Okay, here I have an object. Now come here. This is my object. This is my object. This dot state dot data object. Okay, I don't want to pass this data as like a object format. Why? Because I pass answer, question, and type is like a query parameter, and some of the headers and some are like a path parameters. I want to delete it. Okay, one object is there. This dot state dot data object is an object. How we can delete the property means that property. This dot state dot data object dot answer is my property. We have a keyword is there in your JavaScript. Just use the keyword. Okay, prefix like a prefix. Delete that particular object property. Delete that particular object property. That's it. Okay then. Thanks for joining.